We've got an HR committee scheduled for 4 p.m. Thursday, March 4th in council chambers here. It's actually 4:05, but we'll get the meeting started. Call to order. Members present, myself, Mr. Jay Bemke is here, and Mr. Joe Zerflu is with us remotely. Also in attendance in person, we've got Mr. Shane Blazer, Mayor, Mr. Ryan Hartman, HR Manager. We've got newly appointed council member, Mr. Dennis Pollack. We've got Tyler Mickelson, and we've got our representative from HR, right? Morgan Tauschik, and online we've got out in cyber world we've got Ms. City Attorney Sue Schill. And is there anybody else? Is there a call-in person? I don't know who that is. But regardless, we'll get the meeting called to order. Item number 2, discuss and consider for approval to change the city's flexible spending account FSA provider to Diversified Benefit Services Incorporated as the city's third-party administrator effective May 1st, 2021. Mr. Hartman, would you speak on that?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Kubishak. Referring back to last month, we had talked about the possibility of moving on flex spending account providers, and we've been working with DBS, and they have put together a proposal that we are very much in favor of and are requesting today to move forward with a start date of May 1st. The policy, just cutting through the information, the policy would be an increased cost annually of approximately $900 versus what we're currently paying. The offset would be in the service, the end result of the service to our employees would receive much better customer service, so to speak, and it would eliminate a lot of on-hold time, call time, wasted time on the Human Resources Department, just with miscommunications with our current providers. So we'd like to move forward with DBS.
Thank you. Is there any committee members, anybody on the committee that has any questions, concerns for Mr. Hartman? We'll do it in person. Mr. Bemke, do you have anything?
I don't have any questions. Morgan, do you have anything you want to add to that? Okay, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Zerflu, do you have anything? No. Anybody else? With that being said, I'll make a motion for approval.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Kubishak, second by Bemke. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, 3-0. We'll go on to item number 3. Discuss and consider for approval the revisions to a temporary employees policy. Mr. Hartman, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. The temporary employees policy, as we're going through in the Human Resource Department, just updating our current policies. Some policies have not been updated for quite some time. We are just looking to do a little catch-up phase regarding the temporary employees policy. Basically, in the verbiage of the residency requirements, just looking to strike those, and then would put forth a current policy. As you can see, the line items that are struck out in the proposed policy. As years ago, this served a good purpose, and at this point in time, we actually have enough trouble trying to find enough applicants, good qualified applicants for some of our seasonal help and temporary employees, so we'd like to remove the residency terminologies in this.
Committee members, anybody have any questions, concerns? Mr. Bemke?
No.
Mr. Zerflu?
No.
Anybody else? That being said, I will take the recommendation by Mr. Hartman and make a motion for approval.
Second.
Motion on floor by Kubishak, second by Bemke for to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, 3-0. We'll move on to item number 4, update on status of responses to requests for proposals for classification and compensation study. Possible discussion and approval to proceed with the consultant to provide a classification and compensation study. Mr. Hartman.
Thank you. To date, the expiration date was the end of February for proposals. Unfortunately, we have only received one proposal at this time, and it is our intent and request to move this agenda item to April's meeting for potential approval. We will be meeting with the consultant that we had agreed with late in 2020, Deb Poggle. We'll be meeting with her next week to discuss plans going forward on how we want to approach this.
Thank you. And with no actual action item on here, we don't have to take action, or we won't take action on item number 4. It was just an update. But because this is on here, committee members, is there any questions, concerns specifically on this? Mr. Bemke? No. Mr. Zerflu? No. With that being said, we'll go on to item number 5, HR department update. Mr. Hartman again.
Thank you again. And regarding HR department updates, the biggest one at this point in time, on a very good note, working with DPW, we'll be moving forward with OSHA training based on our insurance company recommendations. We have found a very financially advantageous alternative, working between myself and Mr. Paul Vollert, the superintendent of DPW, and we've put together a plan and a good person to do the training for us, and that training will be the start of putting together an entire safety plan. So we've got some really good things happening over in DPW, and those things will start to take shape at the end of March and into April, and then forging ahead from there.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. And good to know that as an organization we're moving forward. So that's one reason why we hired you, Ryan. Anybody else have anything, questions, concerns for our HR manager, or even Ms. Tauschik sitting in the audience? Otherwise, if not, we'll move on to item number 6, an adjournment.
So move.
Motion by Bemke. Mr. Zerflu, do you want a second? We'll get you out on the minutes here. So a motion on the floor by Bemke, second by Mr. Zerflu for adjournment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Ayes have it, 3-0, and meeting will adjourn here at 4:13 p.m. Thank you, everybody.